Bigfoot and now Dogman. Talk to us a little bit about this. Is there any known cohabitation of these two creatures? Do they seem to avoid one another, or do they, in fact, live in harmony with one another?
Well, can I back up just for a moment? Because I kind of didn't answer your earlier question there on their diet and the kind of food consumption.
Sure.
No, there would not be giant amounts of food consumption. During the fall, yeah, they will put on more weight, just as some of our domesticated animals will eat more when it's going to get cold. Yes, you have that. And the other thing I wanted to make a point on, when you speak of a clan or a tribe, a lot of people's mind would go to like a Native American type setting where they're all grouped up. No, you may have one clan that stretches over miles and miles and may have just 3-4 families in it. That's how they stay so elusive and evasive. So now to your question about the Dogman and the Bigfoot coexisting. I'm still currently researching that. The Dogman came on my radar about, this will be the third summer now, something I didn't believe in. And I was being closed-minded, and I learned a big lesson on it. You cannot be closed-minded doing anything paranormal. I mean, the normal is paranormal. I have pictures with Bigfoot and Dogman in it together, but yet also have witnesses and witnessed myself them warring over land or spots where the Bigfoot have been existing, and Dogman tries to move in, and you'll hear them. You can hear them fighting. I mean, in the location I'm in, just a mile out of town, they will start fighting. If you live on the edge of the town, you hear that stuff. It's incredible, the sounds. And you can tell the difference in sound between a Bigfoot and a dog, man, person, thing, soldier, whatever you want to call it. It's big, just like the Bigfoot. The way they're built is it's built to war. I mean, its head is enormous, and it sits on its shoulders, like broad shoulders, like a human would. They're not hunched over into like a canine position, but from the waist down, they look like a canine. It's a very intimidating critter, and the Bigfoot seem to want to, okay, let's not fight because it's going to get dirty and somebody's going to end up dead, or both of us, you know. But yet they won't back down if they have to fight with them. So I've seen them in coexisting situations, like I said, taking the photographs of it, and also witnessed when the Bigfoot won't back down. So
Nikki Christopher, one of our listeners, just fired off an email and says, where do these pictures exist? These the evidence and proof of the things that you've laid witness to. Do you have a site that you share all of those photographs on?
You know what? I don't share them on my websites. I do have groups on Facebook that I select members come into those groups, and I usually get to know them, make sure that they're, open-minded people, and they're not there to heckle the people that are there that are experiencing and researching. So I do have sites that they're available, and you can get in touch with me, Shell, Kaoke, Dion, Dion, on Facebook. We have like pages on Facebook, Whisper Walkers, like page, Tree Peekers, like page. Whisper Walkers, we're here in the Midwest. Tree Peekers, that's very broad. That's worldwide. That's me and my partner, Freeman Young, from San Francisco, California, that collaborate on teaching people about these beings, helping them habituate with them when they have them on their property. Everybody's goal is different. Some people want to learn about them. Other people want to encounter them and habituate with them and go and visit them in certain areas. There's a variety of goals they come to us for, and we help them with that. So look me up on Facebook or hit a like page and send me a message. And it's probably the easiest, quickest way to get in touch with me. I have an email, squatchtalker, all one word, 69 at gmail.com.
And I'm guessing that you have a lot of these links up on your websites and blog pages that we're going to put up posts or links to?
Yes.
All right, great. We'll put those up so you can check out darknessradio.com. Click on the link there under guests, and you'll see our guest and all the video links, or I'm sorry, all of the regular links that we have up there. Got about a minute left in this segment. When we come back, I want to continue discussing the Dogman phenomena. Are these, and real quickly, are these werewolf characters? Do they transmogrify back and forth, or are they always in this form?
I actually watched one morph down from what would be a giant 7-foot-tall man-beast-looking thing into what looked like a regular 400-pound timber wolf. Before my own eyes, it was a mind freak. So there may be a variety of different types of them. I'm not sure on that. Like I said, the research has just started on them, and I'm going to continue going after it. But those guys are not friendly, so the research is a little harder to go after. You got to be a lot safer, and you got to put a little distance between you and them.
Let's talk about some of those interactions, some of the stories that you've got, and why they appear to be much more aggressive or violent. We'll do that when we return. Shell, why do these creatures seem to be much more aggressive in nature? The dogmen.
Well, I don't know why. I do know, and this is important for the researchers out there listening, or anybody, hikers, whatever. When you do come across something that you're seeing hairy moving up ahead of you, maybe in the woods or whatever, pay attention to that hair, because Bigfoot will groom themselves and have usually family members grooming them, and usually their hair is generally beautiful, especially in the summertime. They really keep their hair groomed, and you'll see highlights in that hair, and the wind will blow, and some of their hair is shorter, some of it's longer, But when we talk dogman, their hair is matted, they're ugly, they don't seem to care about grooming themselves or whatever. So if something's looking pretty matted and nasty, whether it's Bigfoot or a dogman that you're coming up on, get away from it.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not going to be so friendly and nice and personable if it doesn't take care of itself,
I love the idea that Bigfoot takes better care of himself, and he's got long, flowing, frosted tips and highlights in his hair. That's good.
Highlights, yeah.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
No, I mean, seriously.
When Bigfoot and his family go on vacation, do they do cornrows in each other's hair, too?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just always asking. So you've got the dogmen are definitely more grungy, more base animal.
That was my point.
Right.
Yeah, they're just grungy looking, matted up looking. They're a nasty beast. That's just all I can say about it when you talk about the way they look. And there seem to be, different types of them, just like I said, the Bigfoot. I've got pictures of ones that look like they're a hyena mixed with a man. I've got ones that look like they're German Shepherd mixed with a man. The important thing about this is a lot of my photos match Scott Carpenter's, where you have this alien being on its shoulder, like this little gray being hanging on its shoulder. And it blew me away when I seen these in some of my photographs, and I was like, well, I always respect Scott's work. I've been step in step with him all along here in the Midwest, working from, the get-go. And he's an honest guy. Whether it's hard to believe what he's bringing to the table, just like I am, he's bringing the proof, he's bringing the evidences. Probably the difference between him and I is I'm big on comparison shots. If I've taken that photo and it was there, you guarantee it, I'm going to hang out as long as it's safe to get it while it's gone, or I will go back the same day, the next day, whatever I have to do, the same time, the same conditions to get that comparison shot. Now, this dog creature, when I say different kinds, some of them look like a grizzly bear, like their head is sitting on shoulders. Their shoulders are big and wide, like a Sasquatch. They're built like football players, just like a Sasquatch in the upper body, but their heads are usually as wide as their shoulders, and there's like no neck to it at all. If you think Bigfoot don't have a neck, this thing will really teach you there's no neck. And it's just this. It looks like it's made to be a killing machine. You've got the hyena one, you've got the one that looks like a bear, you've got one that resembles a cat-looking thing, you've got another one that looks more human, like you mentioned, werewolf. Like it doesn't have the giant head. All I can say is I've got pictures that I can show you of the different kinds. There's some that look pure wolf. You would think that you're seeing a timber wolf on steroids that went from 400 pounds to 900 pounds. When they walk on two legs, these guys look like they are uncomfortable in their own skin. It looks uncomfortable for them to walk and move and stuff, almost mechanical sometimes. And Bigfoot, when that's moving, it's a flowing, moving thing that's not, it's more human-like in its movements and stuff. So there's a big difference in the field when you're looking at Dogman versus Bigfoot, because I've had so many people come to me to had an encounter and they're going, I don't know if I've seen a Dogman or if I've seen a Bigfoot. So I start with the morphology. Tell me about their head. Tell me about their arms, their legs, their hands, their feet. You know, I go from the head down always. That's how I work. And there's always a difference. And usually by the time they get to the legs, they've answered their own question, because these things walk on canine legs. These things walk bipedal or on quad, just like a Bigfoot can go quad because their arms and legs are the same length. These things have the same ability, but their legs are bent and look just like as if your dog, your Great Dane or something, stands up and, you know, I don't know how many people out there know big dogs, but I've had many, Russian wolfhounds, you name it. When they go up on their hind legs, their knees are kind of bent outward. Their hocks are going to follow the knee. It's also going to be at that 45-degree angle. And they're going to rock back and forth if they try to take steps on their hind legs. Now, a typical dog can only do that once or twice, one or two steps, and drop. These things can actually carry out a walk like that for a distance before they'll ever drop down, and sometimes they don't. They walk like that, uncomfortable looking as it is, their body at a 60, 40-degree angle where their upper body's kind of leaning over. Anybody you've talked to that's seen them describe that walk, that weird, hunched position that looks uncomfortable.
And when they walk, I mean, are you finding prints for the Dogman? Bigfoot prints seem to be in abundance. People always have that one look. Do the Dogman prints look like canine prints, or do they look like, you know, the Wolfman style prints?
They look like canine, usually. They can look like the Wolfman. I've seen them both. Sometimes the Dogman, when he he'll be walking and stop, he'll rest back on his hocks. Before I actually encountered him 3 years ago, I didn't know what these prints were I was finding 2 years prior to that, where I was finding a dot behind what looked like a Great Dane on steroids, and I'm going, what is making these prints? What is it? I didn't believe in the Dogman. People were telling me about it, but I just wasn't believing in it. I'm one of those people, I've got to see it for myself to believe it. Unfortunately, that's not so safe for me. But they will rock back on their hock, and you will see, you know, a good 7-8 inches between those toe prints that are canine and where the hock rested.
And with that, why are we finding, you know, scat? You know, the big thing for Bigfoot is there's really never any scat. If it's a wolf, it's more animalistic. Are there things that they're able to find that show that there are these wolf creatures where there would not normally be wolves in your area?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm used to large dogs.
Right.
And I've had a Great Dane. I've had a Russian wolfhound. The poo will look more dog-like. Now, when Bigfoot has a movement, it looks more human-like. It'll take on a human shape unless he's got the runs. And, of course, you're always looking at what's in it. I know that sounds gross, but as a researcher, that's what I do. I'm picking it apart, seeing what they've been eating on, seeing what's, you know, inside it. And, you know, Bigfoot's usually full of berries and things like that. In the summertime, you'll see a lot of seeds and things. Every now and then you'll see deer hair, rabbit hair, but it's going to be in the shape of like a human turd, where when the Dogman takes his, it looks like a big dog. Big dog took a poo there, and it's always full of hair. Rarely, I don't think I've ever seen anything that's berry-like or something that you could mistake for a bear or a Bigfoot scat. It's pretty individualized.
All right. Let's, we got a quick call. Do you mind if we got a question from a listener? Mary in Minneapolis is joining us. Mary, did you have a question for our guest?
Yes, I do. Have you ever heard of one of the wolfmen attacking, or a dogman attacking anybody? Because my brother's seen what we call the dogman about 4 times now, and the first time he saw him, he was attacked by 2 of them.
Did he live?
Yes. He was with his gun, and he kept shooting until he got home.
I'm sorry, you're really muffled up, Mary. It's hard to hear part of what you're saying. He was with his gun, and that's about all I heard.
Yes. He used his gun to defend himself because he was out in the woods. It was night, and he saw them run down a deer and kill it. And then he was downwind from them, and they winded him and came after him.
It's typical. That's typical is what they do. They will act more beast-like, where Bigfoot's not sticking his nose up, checking out the wind. They do that. And yes, I have researcher partners that have been injured and actually permanently disabled by attacks from dogmen.
Permanently disabled? What kind of attacks have taken place?
Typically, they will attack you from behind. In both scenarios, I know of someone personally know these people or know them through friend researchers that are research partners with them. They'll take a large rock, boulder size, whatever they can, to if there's a distance between them and their prey, and they will hit them in the back, hit them in the shoulder, the back of the head, whatever they can. They'll come at you from behind. That is their mode of operandi. And when they come at you from behind, then it's going to be picking you up and whipping you against trees, throwing you. And when that happens, they're breaking ribs, they're puncturing lungs. Both instances, I know of a researcher that got attacked. They both had guns. Without the gun and repeated shooting at them, even though they were hitting them in the chest and not doing much damage, it was enough to get them to go the other way and get away from them. Being out in areas where there are dogmen reports, I think you would be a fool not to have an air horn on you, not to be armed with a bigger caliber gun, and not so much, don't bother trying to shoot them in the chest. It's not going to do much good. They seem to have one huge chest plate, and everybody I've talked to that's shot at them, the hair just kind of blows, and they just keep coming. I would aim more, if you're facing them, I would aim more at their abdomens. The head, if they're enormous heads, I don't think you're going to do much damage with that. So I would aim more at their abdomens and their legs, something to, disable them. If you can possibly get off a shot in their lower back area, just above their butt cheek area, which don't have much of a butt because they're built like a dog, but in that area, it seems to be more organs and stuff. That's where you're going to do more harm. So that's my advice. If you've got dogmen in your area, if you've got reports of them, and you're actually going to go out there and brave it, air horn it, bring weapons with you, have mace on you, bear mace, anything you can do to protect yourself. And don't go alone, for God's sake. Don't be out there by yourself if you're dealing with dogmen. I've made that mistake and had to hurry and get away, and it's not fun. And I'm lucky. I've been lucky too many times with this, and I finally learned my lesson. I don't go alone. I just don't.
Star Emergency. This is Kyle speaking. How can I help you? Hello?
Something just ran in front of us on the road. We're in the ditch. We rolled over.
How many people are in the car, and is anyone injured?
There's 2 of us. I don't think we have any injuries.
Is the car on its top or wheels or what?
No, it's kind of sitting on its side.
Hold one moment, please, while I contact emergency services.
Okay.
Okay, the state police should be on their way in a few minutes. Is everyone still okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
What ran in front of you? A deer?
I don't know what the hell it was, but it was big. It looked like a great big dog. Standing up.
Was it a bear, maybe?
Maybe. Oh, my God. Oh, my God!
Sir? Hello?